Alright, hey guys, welcome back. In today's tutorial we're going to be discussing strings. So the first thing is, the string is the second data type in Python. A string is basically any string of characters. Basically it's words. Actual physical words that you can see and read. In general, they're going to be in a sentence type format. They don't have to be, but in general they're going to be. So the first thing is, how do you define a string? Well, you can't just type out "this is a string." Python's going to give you a syntax error because you've just attempted to actually execute a command. As you can see, "is" got highlighted. That's called syntax highlighting. So how do you define what a string is? In Python, a string is defined by, there's a few ways to define a string. The first and easiest way is single quotes. And I can do "this is a string." Hooray, it's a string. I can use double quotes. "This is also a string." Now you can use single quotes, but there's 3 sets of them. So in total you'll have 6 single quotes. This is for Mutli-line. And then you can use 3 sets of double quotes. So what is the main difference? In general, you will use these single sets for when you're using single line things, but if you need to type it out over multiple lines, you're going to want to use these, because this allows you to basically say whatever's in between these is a string. And this comes in very, very useful when you're having to print out 100 lines of text. As you'll notice, the output for all of them is in the same format. You have single quote, words, single quote, which means it's pretty much impossible to figure out what the person formatted the string as before they put it in, i.e. like the actual how they put it in there. And I suppose this is going to be a good time to mention something else, and you'll see me use it quite a bit in some of my programs when I provide the source code for them. It'll be the hash symbol, and you'll notice, what is this? This is a comment. And you'll notice Python ignores it. So any line that starts with a hash, Python completely ignores it and just doesn't even bother, because this is for commenting. And commenting is very, very useful. The reason you need to comment your code is so that when others read your code, they can understand what's going on. But it's not only for their benefit, but it's for your benefit. Because as you'll understand, as you program, you'll have one of those times where you've programmed a really weird and complicated algorithm. You'll come back, you'll look at it, you'll sit there, and you'll wonder for an hour what on earth you were thinking, and what the heck does this even mean? Actually, if you guys have got any funny stories about that, feel free to post them in the comments. They're always funny just to hear about the "what the hell was I thinking" stories. But anyway, comments, they're very good. They're your friend. Comment as much as possible, but don't over-comment. Every line doesn't need a comment, but every major block of code should have its own comment describing what that block of code does. And if it's really obfuscated, i.e. if it's really, really confusing and really complex and really intricate, you should probably include pointers to kind of help the person figure out what the heck's going on. Okay, so back to strings. The next part in strings that we're going to cover is something called the escape character. Escape characters are kind of important. First of all, what are they? An escape character, the universal escape character, is the backslash. And the backslash is used to escape something from text. Like, what am I talking about? To be specific, here's what I'm talking about. Let's say I have single quotes, and I want to type in, don't try this at home. I'll get an error, because you'll notice that when I typed in the apostrophe, because apostrophes and single quotes are the exact same character, and Python doesn't know that, it's going to basically say, okay, so you have don't, and then you have dawn, and then try this at home, but you want me to try, and try is actually a command. So how do I get it to execute this as a string with ignoring that? I use the escape character. You'll notice when I do that, the entire string turns green again, and it prints out, don't try this at home, but you'll notice something happened. It's done it in double quotes. And that's just the way Python handles things. It's not really anything that special. But the escape character has just told it to ignore that character as far as commands go, and just take it as literally what it is and print it out. And that leads us to the print command. The print command is the technical way of printing out a string. So you can do print. Whatever you put inside of that parenthesis, or in those parentheses, will be printed out, assuming it has a value. So in this case, we're going to do what everyone does for their first print statement. Hello world. So I have hello world. Print is kind of a powerful thing in Python. It's more powerful than just using the standard ones, just telling it to display the string. And the reason this is because print can do more. It's got more formatting options and such, and that's where the escape formatters come in. The escape formatters, in general, there's two of them that you'll probably be using a lot. They're going to be the new line and the tab. So what is the new line? New line is \n. So I can type in hello \n world. And I get hello on one line and world on another. If I go and switch that for a \t, I get hello tab world. So there are a few instances where you don't want to use the escape character. So what do you do then? If you do not want to use the escape character, for example, let's say you want to execute hello table. Now right now it's going to do hello, put a tab in, and an able. But I want it to print out hello \table. So to do this, I can tell it to read it as a raw string. And I do that by putting an R in front of the string. And now it's going to ignore all the formatting codes, and it's just going to say, okay, print out whatever's in there. You can also print out raw strings by ignoring print. Print basically is a function that goes through and it looks for stuff like this, and then it knows what to do. By doing this, when you do this, you're doing a very, very similar thing to this. You're telling it to ignore these. Let's continue to storing these things into strings and concatenation. Actually, we'll have to do that in the next episode. But until then, see ya.